All right, let's get to this Buckeye Instantish reaction. Big win over Nebraska. Welcome to Buckeye Banter, Sports in the OH. All right, so big first game of the season yesterday. If you were following the comments a little bit on Facebook, you saw some of my instant actual reaction, but now we'll give you a little bit of an instant reaction. Um, Obviously, got a little special guest here today. Lucas is joining us. He was watching some of the game yesterday too, and now today he wanted to pop in and say hello for a minute. So say hello, Lucas. Anyways, yeah, I think that Nebraska obviously showed us right away that they're not the usual warm-up game we get, and definitely a little more smash mouth. Came out and hit us right in the mouth right away, and made it look like it was going to be maybe a little bit more of a competition than it ended up being. In the end, my prediction came pretty close. I predicted 51-13 and ended up 52-17. So I think at halftime I changed my prediction to 51-20. So either way, I was pretty close to that on our score and theirs. Just got lucky, really. Let's be honest. But hey, I think that we showed a lot on our wide receiving depth, our wide receiving core, our defense responded and made the changes that they needed to make after coming out and getting hit in the mouth right away. And it's been a while since they've just hit it all with anybody outside of their own team. So I think all in all, we had a good showing. We got to get some guys some minutes there at the end to get some reps. Jack Miller looked pretty good. Um, my freshman pick had that amazing. Lucas wants to get down. That amazing catch in the back of the end zone. So I think that maybe that pick so far looks pretty good. Jackson Smith Njigba, sorry. Um, so yeah, I think overall it was a good game for our Buckeyes to get started and see what we have next week. Now that's going to get us into the scoreboard review and look at the scores around the Big Ten real quick. And obviously we have the surprise one there where Penn State went down to those Nittany Lions. I was shocked. I don't know about you guys. I really thought Penn State would blow them away. Good for Indiana. Been a while since they really beat anyone anywhere near top 10 team, and yeah, we'll see what happens now. Next week we get to go into Happy Valley, and I think this is going to be one of those times when we're going to be thankful that there's only 1,000 fans for each side, because I'm sure those fans would be rowdy next week after that disappointing loss. Always hard to win there, especially when there's the whiteout. But I think right now we're going to be facing that team that's going to want to show that they're not just some pushover that got beat by Indiana. But I think we got to look out for Indiana this year now. The rest of the league has got to get put on notice, because I don't think Penn State is a bad team. I think they just got surprised. And early on this year is going to be hard for teams when you get surprised to come back from that. So the other big score there in this, you can see, is Wisconsin and Illinois. I don't think anybody would have been surprised that Wisconsin put up 45 and Illinois only got 7. But I think the surprise there is that was 5 passing touchdowns from that freshman. And that's what I think is notable in this game more than anything. This is a team that everyone has known forever to just be smash in the mouth, run it, grind it, get it done on the ground. And then we might throw a little hitch in there to beat you every once in a while underneath. But this freshman, they've got Graham Mertz, I believe is his name, had a big day. First, I think, quarterback in I don't know how many years it was, but it's been a while. I think they've had 2 guys who have ever thrown 5 TDs in their debut, or maybe they've only ever thrown 4 and he was the first to do it. Whatever it was, not many people in Wisconsin history have done this, and he came out and threw 5 TDs. So true freshman. Definitely be on the lookout for them. Maybe my Minnesota pick isn't gonna be very good there. Maryland, no surprise, not much going on there, and the Wildcats really put it to them. So who knows? We got to see what the Wildcats have the rest of this season as well. The rest of the scoreboard, obviously, we talked about our game. Michigan looked pretty good against Minnesota. I still think Minnesota's going to rebound and have a good year, but that didn't bode well for them right off the gate. It's hard in this 8-game season. Not a lot of room for error. Rutgers, hey, that game was a battle of a couple of teams nobody really expects a lot from, but Rutgers came out on top. And Purdue and Iowa, I think again a couple of teams that people expect to be in the middle of the pack, and not a whole lot of high expectations there. But Purdue came out on top there, so we'll see as the year goes on how the middle of this conference pans out, and those teams that can surprise you, like the Northwesterns or the Indianas, and who knows, maybe we'll see Rutgers and Purdue surprise some teams this year as well. So that's a quick wrap on the Big Ten scoreboard and a quick analysis Instantish of the Buckeye game. As far as player of the game, I don't think there's any doubt about it. Had to be Justin Fields. Guy was a monster. He did it all, and I think my biggest what's going on is what I think the announcers made a lot of times the mention of is what's going to happen with this run game. We got to get something figured out because we can't be one dimensional. Now they ended up getting some yardage on the ground eventually, but no one really stood out. Maybe at times Steel Chambers looked pretty good. A couple runs there. Trey Sermon looked pretty good. Master Teague was, so I don't know. I didn't see anybody there who jumped out at me. I think that the most potential is in Trey Sermon. And Steel Chambers looks like he might be a good future guy for us. But I think that's what they're going to have to show us next week at Penn State. Who can run the ball and get those yards when we need them. So let's see what happens. And be on the lookout tomorrow. We'll have a new episode on the Browns Instantish reaction at the half right now. And those Brownies are not looking so great. So hopefully they can get it together in the second half. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Look for us on all those different social medias. And any reactions you guys have, we've got to hear them. And yeah, go Bucks. Hey, it was a good win after a questionable start. So go Bucks.